Pada suatu hari, hidup seorang putri yang sangat cantik dan baik hati. Sayangnya, kecantikan dan kebaikannya membuat seorang penyihir merasa iri. Penyihir itu membuat apel untuk sang putri. Apel itu berhasil membuat sang putri jatuh sakit hingga berbulan-bulan. Kenapa ya cerita ini jadi fokus ke apel? Padahal kita lagi ceritain putri. Ternyata dalam tata bahasa Inggris ada loh yang bahas ini. Namanya passive voice. Passive voice bisa mengubah siapa yang ada di posisi utama kalimat. Siap-siap ya, video ini akan pakai bahasa Inggris.
I'm going to tell you what is the passive voice. As you see here, passive voice is used to show interest in a person or object, so the most important will be a subject. Like an apple tree stories, we focus on apple trees, not the princess. Passive voice could be found in so many tenses, such as simple present, present progressive, present perfect, and many others, even modal. And now, let's talk about passive voice in the simple present, simple past, and simple future. If you want to change an active voice to a passive voice in a simple present, you can use the pattern of that. Subject plus be plus verb 3 plus by plus agent. For the example, I have an active voice here, write a letter. You can change it into a passive voice, a letter as a subject, is as a be, written as a verb 3, and by plus agent, him. And now we know, a letter is more important than a writer in these sentences. Let's say the formula once again. Subject plus be that are or am or is plus verb 3 plus by plus agent. Okay, now we're going to passive voice in a simple past. We can remember the pattern that subject plus be, that is was or were, and plus verb 3 plus by plus agent. And we have to remember use was to singular subject and were to plural subject. For the example, I have an active voice. Bu Puspa cooked our dinner last night. You can change it into a passive voice, our dinner as a subject, and then we use was because the dinner is a singular subject, and cooked verb 3 by plus agent Bu Puspa. Last night is adverbial of time and it's optional. Okay, let's say the formula once again. Subject plus be that was or were plus verb 3 plus by plus agent. And now we're going to passive voice in a simple future tense. The pattern is subject plus be that are or am or is plus going to be or will plus verb 3 plus by plus agent. For the example, I have an active voice, she is going to buy this dress. You can change it into a passive voice, this dress as a subject, is as a be, going to be is a pattern, bought is a verb 3, and plus by plus agent that her. Let's say the formula once again. Subject plus be that are or am or is plus going to be or will plus verb 3 plus by plus agent. Next, we're going to learn about passive voice in the present progressive, past progressive, and future progressive. The pattern of passive voice in the present progressive is subject plus be that are or am or is plus being plus verb 3 plus by and plus agent. For example, I have an active voice, he is eating 2 pieces of cake. You can change it into a passive voice, 2 pieces of cake as a subject, are that be, being is a pattern, eaten is a verb 3 plus by plus agent in the sentence him. By the way, if you have a question, why is in the sentence changed into are? The answer is we follow the word before to be. In the active voice sentence, you can see he. That's a singular subject, so it uses is. And in the passive voice sentence, you can see 2 pieces of cakes. That means it's plural, so you can use are. Now let's say the formula once again. Subject plus be that are or am or is plus being plus verb 3 plus by plus agent. Now we're going to a passive voice in a past progressive tense. The formula is subject plus be that was or were, plus being, plus verb 3, plus by, plus agent. For the example, I have an active voice. Atik was mopping the floor yesterday. You can change it into a passive voice. The floor as a subject, was is to be, being is a pattern, mop is a verb 3, plus by, plus agent, Atik. Yesterday is a verb of time. Okay, let's say the formula once again. Subject plus be that was or were, plus being, plus verb 3, plus by, plus agent. Now we're going to learn about passive voice in a future progressive tense. The pattern is subject plus will be plus being plus verb 3 plus by plus agent. For the example, I have an active voice. Mr. Gemilang will be fixing the TV next morning. You can change it into a passive voice. The TV as a subject, will be is a pattern, being is a pattern, fix is a verb 3, by plus Mr. Gemilang as an agent. Next morning is a verb of time, that optional. Now we can see in the passive voice sentence, we don't care about who will fix the TV, but we care about the TV will be fixed. Let's say the formula once again. Subject plus will be plus being plus verb 3 plus by plus agent. Now we move on to chapter 3. Passive voice in the present perfect, past perfect, and future perfect tense. First is about passive voice in the present perfect. The pattern is subject plus have or has plus been plus verb 3 plus by plus agent. But we should remember, if we use a singular subject, we can use has, but plural subject use have. Okay, I have some example here. An active voice that sound, my father has written the letter. You can change it into a passive voice. The letter as a subject, has because the letter is a singular subject, and been is a pattern, written is a verb 3, plus by plus agent, that in the sentence, my father. Let's say the formula once again. Subject plus have or has plus been plus verb 3 plus by plus agent. And now let's talk about passive voice in a past perfect tense. The pattern is subject plus had plus been plus verb 3 plus by plus agent. If I have an active voice, the criminals had robbed 5 banks, you can change it into a passive voice. 5 banks as a subject, had been is a pattern, robbed is a verb 3, by plus agent, that in this case, criminals. As usual, let's say the formula once again. Subject plus had plus been plus verb 3 plus by plus agent. And now just talk about passive voice in a future perfect tense. The pattern is subject plus will plus have been plus verb 3 plus by plus agent. So if I have an active voice, the teacher will have marked the exam next week, you can change it into a passive voice like this. The exam as a subject, will have been as a pattern, verb 3 that mark, by plus agent that the teacher. Tomorrow is an adverbial of time that actually optional. Okay, now let's say the formula once again. Subject plus will have been plus verb 3 plus by plus agent. Last but not least, passive voice in the modals. But before that, we have to know what is the modals. So, the modal is type of verb that indicates a modality. So, modal can make your sentences more comprehensive. The example of modal is must, can, might, could, should, shall, may, and many others. A passive voice in the modals have a simple pattern. Subject plus modals plus verb 3 plus by plus agent. If I have an active voice, Emon can make a birthday cake, so you can change it into a passive voice. Birthday cake as a subject, can that modal, made is a verb 3 plus by plus agent that Emon. Okay, now let's have some exercise. Question number 1. Tenses yang digunakan adalah past tense, sehingga kita bisa menggunakan was atau were. Dan karena the city of Venice adalah singular object, maka kita bisa menggunakan was. Jadi jawaban yang tepat adalah A, was built. The city of Venice was built on water. Okay, question number 2. Tenses yang digunakan adalah present perfect. Maka formula yang tepat adalah have atau has plus been plus verb 3. Oleh sebab itu, kita bisa lihat many books di sini adalah plural object. Kata yang tepat adalah have. Maka jawabannya adalah C. Have been written about success. Number 3, formula yang digunakan adalah past tense. Oleh sebab itu, kita bisa menggunakan were atau was. Karena di sini subjeknya adalah plural object, maka kita menggunakan were. Jadi jawaban yang tepat adalah D. Some old documents were translated by them last week. Next, ini adalah passive voice dalam modal, ditandai dengan adanya kata must. Oleh sebab itu, kita harus menggunakan be setelah kata modal tersebut. Jadi jawaban yang tepat adalah Okay, next we're going to exercise part 2. Question number 1, ada beberapa kata yang digarisbawahi dan kita harus mencari yang salah. Yang pertama ada the children, called, sing, dan in. Di sini kata yang salah adalah sing, karena itu merupakan verb ing. Seharusnya setelah kata was digunakan kata verb ketiga. Jadi seharusnya adalah seen. Question number 2, ada beberapa kata yang digarisbawahi, separated, must, boil, dan immediately. Kata yang kurang tepat adalah boil, karena setelah kata modal must, be, seharusnya digunakan verb ketiga, boil plus ed. Jadi kata tersebut kurang tepat. Next, number 3, the government requires that a census be taken. Seharusnya karena a census adalah singular, maka be-nya kita ganti dengan is. Jadi seharusnya the government requires that a census is taken every 10 years. This is the summary from the material that we have discussed about. Every passive voice use verb 3. Well, see you next time!